A distress signal echoed across the open ocean. Clear, urgent, and impossible to ignore. Then, suddenly silence. No coordinates, no follow-up, no wreckage. When rescue teams arrived at the last known location, they expected panic, debris, survivors clinging to hope. Instead, they found nothing. No ship, no passengers, not even a trace that anything had ever been there. This is the story of one of the most chilling cases of people who vanished at sea, a mysterious cruise ship. Disappearance at sea that still leaves investigators searching for answers. In the early hours of a calm, uneventful night, a mid-sized cruise vessel carrying over 100 passengers drifted across a quiet stretch of ocean. It was the kind of journey marketed as peaceful and safe, a floating escape from reality. Families laughed on deck, couples enjoyed candlelit dinners, and most passengers had already retreated to their cabins for the night. Everything about the voyage felt normal, controlled, secure. But just before 2 a.m., a distress signal was transmitted from the ship. It wasn't long, but it was unmistakable. A crew member's voice, strained and urgent, broke through the static. Immediate assistance required. And then nothing. No coordinates followed, no explanation, no further communication. Within minutes, nearby vessels and authorities responded, marking the beginning of what would become one of the most unsettling cruise ship disappearance cases ever recorded. What makes this case even more disturbing is what happened in the hours leading up to the signal. Several passengers later reported strange occurrences before the overnight cruise ship disappearance. Lights flickered in certain corridors. Some guests claimed their cabin doors opened briefly in the middle of the night, only to close again without explanation. One couple, later listed among those missing, had called the front desk to report footsteps outside their cabin at around 1:30 a.m. They described it as slow, deliberate, and stopping right at their door. That couple disappeared without a trace. A couple disappeared on cruise ship situations are rare, but when they happen, they often leave behind more questions than answers. Their untouched cabin became one of many examples of people who vanished from cruise cabins, with personal belongings left behind: phones, passports, even half-finished drinks. When investigators later reviewed security logs, they discovered something even more unsettling. Keycard activity across multiple decks showed doors opening and closing at odd hours, often without corresponding camera footage. It was as if passengers were moving, but not being seen. This added a chilling layer to an already disturbing pattern seen in passengers who disappeared overnight on cruise ships. By the time rescue teams reached the ship's last known position, several hours had passed. The ocean was calm, and visibility was clear, but the ship was gone. There was no debris floating on the surface, no oil slick, no lifeboats, no signs of struggle or evacuation. Search teams expanded their radius, scanning miles of open water. Still nothing. It was as if the vessel had simply been erased. Authorities initially considered mechanical failure or a sudden sinking, but those theories quickly fell apart. A ship does not disappear that cleanly. Even the most catastrophic events leave evidence behind. What investigators did find, however, only deepened the mystery. A faint signal trace suggested the distress call may have originated from slightly different coordinates than where the ship was expected to be. Not far, but enough to raise questions. Even more puzzling, satellite data showed no large object in the area at the time the signal was sent. It challenged everything known about real cruise ship disappearance cases. Some began to speculate about human involvement, perhaps a coordinated act tied to crimes at sea. Others wondered if the ship had been deliberately rerouted before the signal. But without physical evidence, every theory remained just that, a theory. This case joined the growing list of unsolved cruise ship disappearance incidents, where answers seemed just out of reach. As investigators dug deeper, they uncovered patterns eerily similar to other real-life cruise ship disappearance stories. Reports of missing passengers on cruise ships had surfaced before. Individuals who vanished overnight, often without witnesses or clear explanations. But this case was different. This was not one person. This was not even a handful. This was an entire ship. The scale of the disappearance at sea was unprecedented. Some compared it to lesser-known disappearances on ferries, where vessels have gone missing under strange circumstances. But even those cases usually left behind fragments, wreckage, distress signals with coordinates, or at least some form of closure. Here, there was none. Families of the missing were left in limbo, caught between hope and acceptance. Without confirmation of what happened, their loved ones were not officially declared dead for years. They were simply lost at sea. To this day, no confirmed wreckage has ever been found. No survivor has come forward. No black box has been recovered. No explanation has been proven. The distress call remains the only undeniable piece of evidence that something went wrong. But what? Was it a catastrophic event that left no trace? A coordinated act hidden beneath the vastness of the ocean? Or something far more unexplainable? The truth is, we may never know. And that is what makes this one of the most haunting true crime cruise ship disappearance stories ever told. Because somewhere out there, beneath miles of open water, or perhaps nowhere at all, lies the answer to a mystery that refuses to be solved. A cruise ship disappearance that began with a single call for help and ended with complete silence.